Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be starting a new series on GUI, because it's quite a big topic. GUI is kind of difficult at the beginning, which is why I want to cover the basics and then go into the more complicated stuff. To start, all GUI goes under Starter GUI. If you want it to be displayed, it has to be under here, it won't work any other place. To actually start placing stuff into the GUI, you need to add a Screen GUI into the Starter GUI. Then once you've done that, you can add a frame or a text button or whatever else is in here. I'm going to keep it really simple and just add in a frame. And what should happen when you add it in is that it pops up in the top left corner here. So if we click on that, you can see you can do a couple of things. You can change its color. You can give it a border if you want. It's like 50. But something to note is the position and the size. Now you might expect this to only have 2 values because you got the X and you got the Y, but it actually has 4. And this is for a very important reason. So if you go into position, for example, we open it up and then we open up X, you can see that there are 2 values attached to the X. There's a scale and there's the offset. Now whether you use scale or offset is very, very important. Offset is the amount of pixels that it'll take up on screen. And scale is the percent of the screen it'll take up. If you have an offset of 50 here, it is now 50 pixels more to the right. So since I'm viewing this on kind of a large screen, if I were to change it by going into, where is the tab? Test? Here we go, okay. If we go into device, you can see that the GUI looks quite a bit different. The size is made up of offset. So the GUI now looks a lot bigger, and since we set the position to offset, it's a little bit farther to the right. I don't like using offset because it looks different on everything. Like if somebody's playing the game on an iPhone, it's going to look different from how it looks on like an iPad. It's all the way up there now. I'm going to remove the offset from the position and the size. Then I'm going to put in scale. Scale is a percent of the screen it should take up. So if you put 1, that's 100% of the screen. If you put 0.4, it's 40% of the screen. So I'm going to add in a random value for X and one for Y. So no matter what, this GUI now is going to take up 40% of the X and half of the screen size on the Y. So now if we try and play it on an iPad, it is going to look the same as something on an iPhone or somebody on an Xbox, somebody on an iPad. You get the idea. I like using scale better because it's a lot more consistent. I recommend you also use scale because it is just easier to keep consistent. I wanted to keep it super simple for the first video, but it'll probably ramp up in difficulty later on. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And that is all from me. Bye bye.